Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lady Layer.
Woo.
Hope y'all had a good weekend. This is probably going to
Mhm.
be our shortest episode ever
Right.
because we only got Real Housewives of Atlanta to talk about, Married to Medicine, and a little bit of stuff we saw in the Buzz Layer. But yeah, so let's just get right on into it. So this week, the blogs, or this weekend, I should say, the blogs have been going crazy. Everybody is quitting the Real Housewives left and right.
Left and right. So
like
we
now,
had
June from Salt Lake City quit. She didn't erase or supposedly quit. She erased it from her little info
from
thing
Salt
on
Lake
Instagram.
City. Jen?
Yeah, Jen from Salt Lake, the one.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking it was Jennifer from what's her name? That was a different story.
Yeah, no, you talking about the New Jersey stuff, huh?
Yes, I was trying to catch up, you guys, before we hopped on. I was trying to catch up with all the tea, and I got my Jens crossed.
Yeah, so no, Jen from Salt Lake, she removed Salt Lake City housewife or whatever from her Instagram bio, so people are thinking that she quit. And then she's talking about, so Jen from New Jersey is saying she loaned Teresa and Louis $500,000 to buy their house, and they're refusing to pay her back. Like,
that makes me wonder, because remember last season there was like a clip of something about his money problems, but they never showed it on the show.
Probably
about Louis. And so I was thinking like, well, maybe she was going to bring it up or something like that on the show. I don't know, because they're saying Louis is a fraud and he really does not everything that they're saying. He doesn't have the money that he's saying he has. And if that's true, I mean, that proves it.
Right. I'm like, do you think it's true though? Or you think that it's like just something in the blog?
I think it might just be something in the blog, because I couldn't see Teresa taking $500,000 from Jen. Like, I don't know.
Maybe she was desperate.
Because does she not have the money? Because if she didn't have the money, then why she could have just stayed in her old house.
Well, they were saying that Louis like has been squandering his money. That's why she was like struggling financially.
And her money too.
But yeah. Because I guess she's the breadwinner in the relationship. Louis don't really make no money. Like right now he's on TikTok and he like is going live and claiming that TikTok is sponsoring him so he could get up to 10K in followers. So like he actually really starts making money. But yeah, the person who I saw it on, she was like, yeah, he's on live all day. He only has 6,000 followers. So clearly he don't have no job.
He's desperate for money.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But there was a lot of things that people tried to warn Teresa about, but maybe she just stayed with him to save face, or I don't know, because here's my thing. You just went through this with another man that had money problems, and it landed you in jail.
Right.
Why would you?
She don't learn.
And she had to have known this stuff before she married him.
Right. Because yeah, I don't see how it could be a fraud. I mean, a surprise with all the girlfriends that were coming out and like all of that stuff. Like, yeah.
I would feel like she probably just let her pride get away, or maybe she was blinded by love. I don't know. Because I'm like, with that many red flags and that many people coming out and say stuff, I would have had to take a pause and investigate and be sure.
Right.
Especially after what she just went through.
Yeah. Maybe it's the rose-colored glasses, because she was in her love bubbles. Nobody could tell her anything. Like Teresa doesn't like she strikes me as a person who is so stubborn that it don't matter what it is. Like, in order for her to save face, she's gonna do it, even if it hurts her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Especially if she would be with someone like this with all the information that she was presented with, that does show that like she's just trying to prove people right, people wrong, and save face.
Because even with Joe, I'm sure she knew he was doing shady stuff too, and she still stayed with him and ended up going to jail for it. So,
well, she says she's a ride or die. So,
yeah, but
don't ever call me that.
Right? You trying to go to jail again, girl?
No, thanks.
We're gonna have Namaste 2.0.
Okay, but yeah, the Housewives have been all up and through the blogs. The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, every franchise I feel like has had something going on.
And then speaking of Real Housewives of Los Angeles, of Atlanta, did you watch Real House? Not watch What Happens Live last night?
Yeah, I didn't. I saw a couple of clips. That was with Toya and
Shamea.
I didn't watch it, but I saw a couple clips. What happened? What's tea?
So nothing like extreme happened. Like she threw shade at Brittany because she don't like her right now, and then Toya was obviously throwing shade at Letitia.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it, but that's expected. But my thing that
Toya was talking about how she brought up the clip that I saw. She brought up not Cecil, Curtis, and how he was handsy. She was like, he was not only handsy with Quad, he also was handsy with me. And then I swiped over and they showed the clip of when they all had the couples, and he pulled her to his lap inappropriately.
And with Heavenly. That's how it got started.
Yeah. And so she was just saying, like, he wasn't in a position to do that. She was like, nice guy. But yeah, he was inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but I thought it was interesting that Shamea got the seat next to Andy over Toya. Like, Toya has been a cast member on the shows for way longer than Shamea. Like, granted, Shamea has been a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, but like I never seen like a friend sit on that seat. You know?
She's no longer a friend. She's a peach holder.
Yeah, a first year peach holder.
But Shamea has made a big splash in the media. Like, people are loving her right now. Like,
you like her song?
I haven't listened to it, to be honest with you. I can't judge it because I really haven't listened to it. But I think because she's made such a big splash, the audience is responding to her well. Everybody is like, oh, she's that girl. She's bringing back like the essence of RHOA, and with her having the home and the husband and the kids and like her career, like she has it all. And so people are liking the freshness of that, and that she's kind of like standing on her own. Like, y'all thought she was just there to support Porsha, but she's the main girl.
Yeah, she's definitely marking her claim. Like, I think she had a great first episode. Like,
she did. Yeah, she did. And I'm loving it because I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like, we didn't never get to know her. I watched her speak. She did a speak on it with Candy. And she was just like, being a friend of, you guys never really got to know me. I was a friend. So I was a friend of Candy. I was a friend of Porsha. So I never had my own storyline. So why would you guys know anything about me? And then she also was like, I'm not a braggadocious person. Like, she was like, I was cringing at the interview where they were talking about her house and how much her house costs and like all that stuff. She's like, that is not me. Like, I don't boast about those things, but being on the show, that's something that they know that the people want to see.
Yeah.
And so she's like, it's a little bit uncomfortable for me, but I'm getting in the groove of it. And Candy was just giving her advice, like, make sure you boss up, but don't lose yourself. Like, still be who you are. So
she talked about the advice Candy gave her on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, it was shady, a little bit shady.
I think that they shouldn't have put the name of her house on TV, because if you Google Sterling Hall, it tells you her address,
her exact address, and that is why Real Housewives always get their homes broken into, because Bravo does not care. They give an aerial view of the home. They show your front door. They show your street. They show your neighbor's house. They really don't care. And that's why people's homes get broken into. Yeah. So I hope she has 24-hour security wherever she at.
Right. Hopefully it's a gated community.
It don't even matter.
Guards,
the gated communities don't matter, because somebody in the community got a cousin that came through and got the code. So a lot of these people's homes are still getting broken into, and you need 24-hour security, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You need somebody at the gate with it.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the episode.
Right. So it starts off with Shamea confronting Drew about Dennis and talking about the matching outfits, child. And Cynthia had to chime in, talk about nobody can't dress like her exes. I said, Cynthia. She went all the way back to Leon. I said, Well, check.
Right.
All right.
She's like, listen, y'all better don't ever get it twisted. If they was ever mine, but not one of my friends show up anywhere hand in hand with matching outfits on. And I agree with her. Like, if we're friends, like if I just know you, we're acquaintances, like I just know you from around the way, like we don't talk like that, we're not friends, like that's your business, that's his business, whatever. But if you in my circle, you my homegirl, like we talk all the time, we hang out, we go on vacation, like that's
I might have told you my business a little bit.
Yeah, like that is completely inappropriate without a conversation, because some people might not care. Like, girl, I dated him in 10th grade. I do not care. Go ahead. Y'all could be soulmates. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think it always warrants a conversation, because that could be true. Like somebody you dated 20 years ago and it didn't work out might be the perfect person for your friend. But if you have a child with them or y'all was married, I feel like that's like a no-go.
Yeah.
So then
I'm glad me and my friends, we don't have the same type. So
but even if we did, it's like no, like
obviously it's definitely a line you don't want to cross, but it's not even that temptation.
No, it wouldn't happen. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if there was like a person that was like, oh, I just talked to him in college or something like that, it's like I feel like at this grown age, they should be fair game. Like,
right. Talking and dating are
totally different. Like,
right.
you just being petty if you done married somebody else and had kids with somebody else and get mad at your friend for linking up with somebody that y'all ran into in the club in college. Like,
right. A sneaky link.
Right. So yeah, Shamea confronts Drew or whatever, and they lay it all out on the table. And Porsha, famous line, she called her a low down, dirty individual. I feel like she's used that several times in the past. And I mean, I get it
though. Like, I feel like she didn't explain it enough to where I could agree with her on the low down, dirty individual thing.
I don't think that was a stretch. I think low down, dirty individual was a stretch, but from what I understand of Porsha's point of view, that was a tongue twister. She's upset with Drew because they were friends, right? Even when Porsha wasn't on the show, they showed a clip of Porsha calling her before the reunion and like supporting her, like, girl, you got this. She hired her to go naked. So her thing was, as a friend, if you're gonna film with, and we saw it later on the episode, she kind of explained why she didn't want her to film with him. But if we're on this show together, you was calling me, begging me to come back to the show. Now, we don't know if that's the truth or not, but that's what Porsha's saying. And you choose to build a storyline with my ex and my baby's father, right? And giving him a platform to possibly speak negatively about me,
right? Because he's hurt.
Yes, and he is hurt, and he has not let a lot of things go. You're giving him the opportunity to trash me, right? And without my knowledge, because you guys are filming behind my back. You're not telling me what's going on. As my friend, I should be privy to this information. And then
the fact that you calling my baby daddy an angel on earth for you,
it's a bit much. What did he do for you?
Right.
He agreed to work with you on an album that you don't even know is going to sell yet. Like, how could he possibly have been? Did he give you money? Like,
right?
How is he your angel on earth?
Right. It was a lot. It was
that somewhere.
Right, like that's giving my man. I'm just saying.
And I think that's the part that I understand where Porsha is coming from. You're bringing too much light to my baby daddy right now. Like, I already have all this stuff going on with my ex-husband. I'm new back on the show. I thought I was coming back on the show as a wife of a new marriage and all these great things happening. My whole world blew up. I'm going through divorce. I literally just signed the divorce papers right before we start filming. And now you're going to pile on and add my baby daddy on the show. And then y'all are over here sneaking around and talking about stuff that I have no information on. Right. So I
know the history of us. Like, I forgot about Porsha's reality show where Dennis was on there showing his butt. Like,
yeah. So she's like, I gave him an opportunity before to join a cast of a family show, and he acted a total fool and was dragging me. So now you want to give him another opportunity to do the same thing when I'm already being drugged by the media because of all this other stuff going on. It's like, girl, have some freaking cool. And then
have some sense.
Yeah. And then her going and planning a photo shoot for my business.
Right.
Girl, you are an influencer. You are an ambassador. You do what I ask you to do in the writer that I get, or I don't know, call writer, or whatever the project. They give them guidelines of what they want. Like, I would like you to post this hair on this day at this time, and this is how much I'm going to pay you for that. You going to set up a photo shoot in the name of my business with production. Like, so that means you're not doing this on your own. You're asking production to get involved and to film it on my behalf because it's my business.
Right.
And then she's like, I want creative control over my stuff. I need to approve every photo that goes out. Like, you could be a little tacky sometimes. I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, now that it's like from that perspective, I kind of see it, but I still feel like the low down dirty individual was.
Yeah, low down dirty. I mean, like, that's her feelings, but it was a lot.
I think she's stupid and not self-aware. Or not even self-aware, she's just not aware, period. Like, you in your own world.
And I think what kind of like irritates Porsha and everybody else about Drew, because even in previous seasons, she acts dumb. Why? Why are you so upset? I mean, we talked about it, Porsha. We talked about it.
Right.
Like, Dennis, first she said that they talked about it. Then she was like, Dennis said he told you. So did we talk, or did Dennis talk to me? Because which one is it?
Right.
You already lied.
It's a difference.
And then here comes Cynthia. Well, Drew get the line now.
Right. If she lying, it ain't gonna be the first time. Yeah.
So yeah, I get her frustration, but I love too when I was watching something, interview with Porsha, and she was saying how she talked to producers and she asked them like, "Am I allowed to break the fourth wall?" Because she was like, "It's a lot of stuff going on, and I want to make sure that I'm able to convey my story the best way possible." So, and they I feel like the new Kardashian show kind of started that, where they talk directly to the cameras sometimes. And a lot of shows are kind of like picking up on that. And I feel like it makes it a little bit more real. So I'm not mad at it.
Your girl Sophie is really trying to
she's trying to be a part. She has something to say.
Right.
She's like, I agree.
Right. I was watching it too. So Charles, like, I feel like he's gonna have to grow on me because I just feel like he was rude. Like, he just do not care. And like, I don't know, he's gonna have to grow on me. Like,
he gives older man to me. Like, you know how old men just be saying whatever, like they just don't even care. Like, he don't care nothing about them cameras being there.
I don't care about nothing. His wife trying to have a conversation, nothing. If he don't want to talk about it, I don't care about that. Like, pretend, please.
She might regret allowing him to come on this show. Because some people might respect it of him being real, and then other people might be like, well, he's mean to her. Like, why did he have to talk to her like that? So
yeah. And then he was like clanking dishes while she's trying to film her segment. Like, bruh.
He like, listen, you want me to cook or not? Because you ain't here cooking. You sitting over there with a glass of wine, chit-chatting. I got to cook the dinner. But she said, you know, he cooks, he cleans, he does whatever. You know, he's retired. So she ain't mad about it.
The way he was acting, it seemed like he's doing it begrudgingly. Because, like, if you really want to cook, you don't got to be like, just.
He gives like grumpy older man to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. His gray hair is beautiful though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
like, it's something about the color, not the style.
Yeah. Yeah, the color is nice. Yes.
Yeah.
So then Porsha and Kenya go to lunch. And she kind of opens up to Kenya, and we get a little bit more information than I've ever seen before. Maybe I didn't pay attention. But she was
fraud and stuff.
Yeah, all about the fraud, which is some stuff we heard in the blog. She was saying how they would go to the airport and they always got pulled to the side, or security would come and she'd be like, well, what's going on? And then
but King said it was normal if he was caught up in a situation, but I don't know if I believe him sitting in a stolen car. I think he's getting pulled to the side because of the fraud and the other stuff that he's done in his past.
Right. And a stolen car is just adding to fuel to the fire, because whose stolen car is it?
Right. And why are you hanging out with people that steal cars?
Exactly. I'm like, who gave you the car? You didn't go through a legitimate rental company? Like, if it was a rental, like, or that's part that was fishy to me too. It's like, okay, but he's still in a stolen car, whether he has issues with the government or not. He's still in a stolen car,
right?
Which raises red flags anyway. But she also said that, you know, he already had women in the house when they was going through their issues or whatever. She was like, you know, we decided to separate. I went to my mom's house, came back, or I think she looked on the cameras.
Yeah, she was looking at the cameras at her mom's house,
and there's already women walking through her house. And so, because I think in the media it was portrayed that she wanted to separate herself from him because of all the fraud and all the things he had going on. So people kind of was like, well, you're supposed to be with him through thick and thin, da, da, da. But her thing is, he lied to me. Like,
right. If I didn't know about the fraud, how do you know that I would have made that choice for my life? Like,
yeah, he didn't give me an option.
I can stick through thick and thin if it's my choice to deal with it. But if you don't tell me and now it's sprung on me, I have to worry about my child and our life. Like, you can't ask me to stick through that if you weren't honest.
I would have ran for the hills too, because she already had to rebuild her life once.
And she didn't want to get rid of her house in the first place. I'm glad she gave her house to her mom, because
that's what I said. I said, thank God she even did that. But she fought, and I don't know if the house that their marital home is officially hers, but she's fighting to keep the home. She's been in the home since everything happened, but he got deported and stuff anyway, so he can't really do much about that. But they allowed her to stay in the marital home. But you know, after what she went through with her ex-husband and having to rebuild her life and getting herself to where she is today, I don't blame her for up and leaving.
Me
like
either.
You said, it wasn't like he laid everything out on the table to her and told her, okay, now this is what I have going on. Do you still want to be with me?
Right.
Then maybe we could judge her. But
if you're not honest, then you can't expect for me to be like loyal to something that I don't even know about. Like, that's weird.
Right.
Especially something as serious as that. And then she's like, she asked her how many times he was married, and now he'd been married 5 times, because one of the marriages was like a fake marriage, like which is probably one of the ones where he tried to get a green card, and obviously they gonna catch on that he's just here for the green card. He don't really want to be in these relationships. Like, he don't watch 90 Day Fiance. Like, they really be on it. Like,
I don't remember if this was on the show or an interview that I watched where Porsha was saying that because people were asking her, well, what about Shamea's husband? Aren't they cool? You know, whatever. And she was like, yeah, actually, Shamea's husband tried to warn me about him, but I wasn't trying to hear it. I was already in love at that point.
Yeah. And so, I think she said that on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah. And so she did have some signs of, you know, but I wonder too if Fallon knew anything that was going on, because she never said anything about him being a fraud.
I'm sure she did. Honestly, Fallon don't strike me as the type to hear. Like, Fallon really was for the money.
Yeah. Right.
Even though, I don't know, I kind of question that even now though too, because she married the baby daddy that she cheated on Simon with, and I don't think he has a lot of money. So maybe, I don't know.
But they're kind of like making money together now, like online and stuff. So I think because he's cool with like helping with the kids and like doing whatever, so she can still go do her thing. Like, some women like that. Some women is like, I don't really need you to make the money. I just need you to be here and do what I need you to do.
Right. Watch these kids. Okay?
Watch these kids while I go out and do what I need to do.
Right.
So, I don't know.
So then Drew, Shamea, and Angela go to the gym, and I did not understand why Angela was so upset with Shamea. Like, it was weird. And like, Shamea, she asked Shamea a question, Shamea's answering the question, and she cuts her off like, wait, but you cut me off. Like, I never finished answering your question. Like, girl, why are you so pressed? Drew was
putting words in my mouth.
Huh?
I said, and she was putting words in her mouth. She didn't use that language.
Right. And Drew wasn't even as upset with Shamea as Angela was. Like, it don't make sense.
Yeah. And so she was completely contradicting herself because she's calling Shamea a assistant and speaking for Porsha. It's like, well, girl, what are you doing? And Drew is sitting right here. She could literally speak for herself if she has an issue.
Right. Like, and that's not even your friend like that. That's my best friend of over 20 years. Like, of course I'm gonna stick up for her. But you just met her a few years ago. Like, relax.
Right. And I was gonna say as she would stick up for me, but she hasn't always done that.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't think Shamea is a lapdog. I feel like Shamea's role on the show before was a friend of, so she could only do so much. Like she was saying, she was like, a lot of times when people would say different stuff about me, I would read them back, but they didn't post it. Like they wouldn't air it because they had more important scenes with actual cast members that they needed the airtime for. You only get 45 minutes in an episode. So she was like, a lot of times I was reading people up and down, but they cut it out. Yeah. And so she was like, it's not like people would say stuff or do stuff to me and I wouldn't defend myself, but as being a friend of, like, I was Porsha's friend. That was what I was there for. Like, to turn up and have a good time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
then they go to the playpen with Pilar, Porsha and Dennis. Yeah. So okay. I didn't really get that scene, honestly. So I guess now since you talked about the perspective earlier, like I kind of get why she was hurt with Dennis, but like why did they need to like leave in the car together and have that whole like hot mic moment? They didn't even come together. Like, I don't know.
Right. That was interesting to me too. I was like, did he, and was Pilar in the car? That was my first thought. I'm like, is Pilar in the car? 1, 2, did he Uber there or something? And like, I don't know. Maybe she wanted to finish a conversation and she didn't care that the mic was on because she was just so upset. Because that's what.
Why not do it at the place then?
Well, could they there were all the kids and stuff. I think that would have been inappropriate to have that conversation like in the it was inappropriate to have it in front of Pilar too, but I think it would have been more inappropriate with how upset she was. She was visibly upset, like when she was crying and went to the bathroom and stuff. Like she was pissed, and we all.
I'm just saying because that's where the conversation started. Like, you know,
yeah.
And then at least Pilar is distracted, you know,
right? But you know, you're around other people's kids and stuff. You don't want to be hollering, and we know how Porsha can get when she gets upset because she start dropping F-bombs and stuff. And so, I don't know though. I feel for Porsha because I kind of understand with like hearing the backstory of where she's coming from. Because at first it seemed very dramatic. Like, girl, you was probably gonna have Dennis on the show too. Like, we know Dennis loves to be on camera, so he probably was gonna be there too. But I do understand what she's saying. Like, if he is gonna film, it needs to be in a more controlled environment with her. So that she knows what conversations are being had. Because on a show like this, they could be dragging her for filth and she would never know until the show airs.
Right. And I'm sure he knows information that other people on that show don't know. And she don't just want him telling her business like that.
Yeah. Because he already calling her 16 marriages and all that. So it's like, yeah. And he could be a bit of a loose cannon sometimes. So I thought it was interesting. And I do feel like Drew brought him on for a storyline because she can't film with Ralph.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah. But so why is Dennis all of a sudden now trying to profess his love? Like, I hate when dude, like, I mean, I get it now because he realized that she got away or whatever. But like, I don't know. You
he professed his love for Porsha?
Yeah, he said he loved her at the place.
Well, you mean it was like that? I thought it was just like, well, you know, I love you. Like,
well, no, because he's Drew said that him and Dennis was making one of the songs about Porsha.
Oh, so
that's true. Why I felt like it was a little bit more than just, you know, I love you, like you the mother of my kids. Like, I feel like it was a little bit more. And it's like he had Porsha and he blew it because he couldn't keep his dick in his pants. Like,
and I feel like she loves him too. Like, y'all, when you make a child with somebody, it's kind of hard to like just be like, ugh, you know. So I think it irritates her even more because it's like we are good together as parents, and we could have been great, but you had to ruin it,
right? So I think while I was pregnant,
exactly. And so even with her just looking at him, and then it's like you interacting with another woman in my face in front of my friends on camera on my platform, it's just bringing back like bad memories.
Yeah.
It's very triggering for her, and I think that's why
giving shady vibes again.
Yeah, I think that's why she kind of like had to go to the bathroom and stuff, because it's just like, oh my god, like why you can't just act right, like
yeah, why you can't be normal?
Yes, like be cool. We could be cool. Like just be cool, bruh.
Right. Or like Countess says, don't be all uncool, just be cool. All right, so let's get into Married to Medicine. So that episode starts off with Toya planning her party. Like, I'm gonna just be honest, like I thought that the party was gonna be a little tacky, but it actually turned out pretty good. Like when I first saw all the flowers, I was like, are those plastic? But I think they were real flowers.
Yeah, it was nice. It looked like they actually didn't have like too many people there, but it was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. So yeah, so she's planning a party. They got the $25,000 budget. Okay, so based on the party, do you think that was worth $25,000?
That's how much it'd be costing, like just to even like rent the space. If they had food, like those venues like that, they charge like per plate. So I don't know if they had a plated dinner or if they passed appetizers. Even if they just passed appetizers, that can be $10,000 alone. Like with food.
Well, she said they had the grazing table because remember she wanted the whole pool.
Oh yeah, and they had that pig and all that. So that probably was anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 anyway. Flowers are very expensive. So she had real flowers. Those real flowers probably were $5,000 to $7,000, if not more, because I don't know the pricing out there. So easily you could spend $25,000, because then you got to pay the party planner's fee. You got open bar. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. All right. If you put it that way.
Yeah, like just knowing, like, you know, when you plan a wedding, you kind of get to see how much like stuff is. And shoot, that was kind of on the lower end, because my wedding was $30,000. That was 10 years ago. So I know stuff is like way more expensive now.
Yeah.
And I didn't have all them flowers. I said, once I saw how much flowers was, I was like, oh no. They talking about some $250 per piece for the centerpiece, and I had 22 tables. I'm like, sir, what? Well, how much can we get for 120?
Yeah. Lord.
Yeah. So it gets up there.
Yeah.
So Greg and T go to lunch, and she's kind of like trying to see where he's at. Like, well, how do you feel about it? Do you still feel the same way? And he's standing firm on his choices and that he's not at fault.
He's the victim.
He's the victim. And he doesn't understand why his friends aren't rallying behind him and blah, 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 blah. And T's just right there supporting him. And then she makes a corny joke and he tries to stop her, but she carried it through anyway. She was like, you're the only king I know. And he was like, oh.
Right. Okay, but when do you draw the line with supporting your husband? Because she knows that he is at fault. At least partially. So when do you tell your husband, like, yo, babe, like, you got to take responsibility at least for your part? Like, you don't have to say, I mean, I guess because she wasn't over there with the guy, she doesn't know how it initially started, but like, he could have walked away. He didn't have to be standing over there with King talking.
He started it. He didn't even have to mention or repeat what he said.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, giving T the benefit of the doubt. She wasn't over there when that conversation started. If she's only hearing it from Greg's perspective, then he's probably not telling her that that's how the conflict started in the first place.
Right. Exactly. Because that's what he said to the guys. He was just like, well, he brought it on to me. And Curtis was like, actually, no, that's not how it went.
Right.
So I think he does have his wires crossed, but also he's just standing so firm on what he believes happened because he doesn't want to look like the bad guy. Like, whatever reason in his mind, he really thinks what he's saying is true. And like you said, at some point, you got to bring your husband back to reality. Now, I don't know if she's having conversations with him offline, but also, I don't feel like he really respects her opinion and the things that she says anyway.
Yeah, he definitely shows he doesn't respect her opinion. Like that age gap thing, she respects him, but he don't respect her. He thinks he treats her like a kid. Huh?
And I feel like he might have did that on purpose because I think didn't they meet on a website that was for age gap?
No, she slid in his DMs. He posted something and she sent him the baby emoji.
And that's exactly what he wanted because I think after Quad, he said, I don't want no strong woman that's finna come in here and be all opinionated. And Sweet Tea, she seems very opinionated, whatever. But when he says what he says, she kind of backs down. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what he wants. But I think also he takes advantage of the fact that she respects him so much because she doesn't berate him on camera.
No. But I wouldn't do that either.
No. Like, so that's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, my marriage is the most important thing. I don't give a dang about this show. The show could get canceled tomorrow, but I'm committed to this marriage for a lifetime.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think she could possibly be telling him off camera, like, why don't you take some accountability? And he just standing firm with her too. Like, no.
You know? Yeah.
So no. Because she doesn't seem like the type to hold her tongue at all. So,
yeah. Yeah, you gotta go a little bit higher than that.
So then we have a funny little moment with Toya and Eugene because Eugene has to.
Eugene is wrong because there was a Queen Charlotte and she was black. I don't think he know what he's talking about. Obviously,
well, what era was that?
That's I think that was let me look it up because girl, you know I love history. Trying to
say is like it wasn't all integrated like that.
So I think that might be true, but there was a black queen of England. Because Queen Elizabeth, she got a little black in her. That's why yeah, Charlotte of Mecklenburg. It's a real person. She was she ruled, she's from Germany, which you know, they had black people there, and she ruled until 1818.
Ooh,
she was married to King George.
Okay, period. Because I don't know.
Oh, right. Shit. And it's crazy because, like, you know how, like, everybody, there was like this big debacle about Meghan Markle being black and they don't want to have these black grandbabies, but Queen Victoria was her grandchild, Queen Elizabeth, all of them got black in they bloodline. Ooh. Whether they choose to, like, you know, accept it, but like, so.
And that's some facts for you, okay?
Right. I mean, because look at Harry's hair. That ain't no, listen, he got a lot of girls to that.
Well, the is he Irish at all? I feel like Irish people, they be having curly hair sometimes.
I don't know. I don't know if they got Irish in them. I can't tell you that. But Queen Charlotte was a real black queen married to King George III. Google it.
Your face, Eugene.
Now, was I in there? Now, obviously, it's a show for entertainment. I don't think that real life was like Bridgerton, but there was. My whole point is that there was a black queen because he even told Toya it wasn't no black queen.
Right, because I was with him on the part of like maybe they weren't intermingled like that. I don't know, like if England was the same as it was here. I don't really know, but if they had a black queen, she ruled and reigned over somebody.
Right. Well, so I saw this other show because I love period pieces, y'all. If y'all need a good suggestion for a period piece, holla at your girl because I watch them all the time. There's a show called Belle, and this girl, the lady Belle, her dad was like, her grandpa was like the Supreme Court judge or whatever. And like there, they had issues with the whole integration thing. There was like rules where like you couldn't have a black woman in your house or whatever. They had to be like a servant or whatever. But because she was their blood, he was like, no, she has a claim to this name, so I'm not going to treat her any different. Like, granted, she can't sit with us at dinner or do anything like that, but after the formal part of dinner is over, like, she's going to come with us and be with her family. Like, so I think there was like, you know, they had certain rules, but you know, there was always like workarounds.
Yeah. Interesting.
Girl.
So then we get to the party and they have like this little like cocktail hour, and Toya explains that, I don't know if she explained this before the cocktail hour, but basically she explains that Sweet Tea and Greg, Dr. G, are supposed to come between 7 and 9, and then Quad and King and Heavenly and her Damon will arrive after. So they show up, Sweet Tea and what's name show up at 8. So they only have an hour to kind of like mingle and talk to people, whatever. And so basically,
and then they didn't want to go home.
Yeah, but when she first got there, they asked like, "How long are y'all gonna stay?" They're like, "Oh, we'll be here for about an hour." But time was winding down, so Toya is basically like, "Listen here,
But I think it was Contessa fueling that. Like, Contessa, you know that they have to only be here for a certain period of time. Why are you asking them if they want to stay? This ain't your party.
I've already worked it out. And I do appreciate what Greg was like. Listen, we're going to respect you guys. Thank you for still having us. And I think it was a decent compromise. Seeing though that you the one who caused all this drama in the first place. Hello. Right. So, and y'all had a 2-hour window. You chose to take 1 hour. That's your business.
Right.
And so it did get a little awkward when you have to ask anyone to leave. Like, that's uncomfortable, but they didn't have much time because what they didn't want is for them to be walking in and out at the same time.
Right. But honestly, like, if I was Toya, I would be like annoyed with Contessa. Like, look, Contessa, if you would like for her to stay so bad, you are more than welcome to leave with her, because we already had a discussion about how long she's supposed to be here, and that time is up.
And this is still my
a certain type of way about her leaving. You are more than welcome to join her.
And Contessa is a big flip flopper, because you was over there consoling Quad and we're here for you, girl, and it's not your fault, and da da da. And then the very next event, you flip flopping.
Right. But I never expected for her to stand firm, because she's been like that since the beginning. Contessa just want to have a friend.
Yeah. True. Like, and locally she needed tea, because that was her only like solid relationship. Like,
right.
They were filming together, having lunch, and stuff like that. But she's not really close with any of the other ladies on the cast.
So then we get this entrance by Heavenly. So
where's the rumor mill?
What rumor mill?
No. What's the rumor mill? The rumor mill where they had, like, you know how on Bridgerton they used to have that letter. Was it Queen Charlotte?
Oh, yeah. The one that T made.
Yeah, so they like all looking around like who made it, whatever, and it had a whole bunch of shady stuff in there. It's supposed to be lies, but a lot of it was true.
Yeah, I don't think any of it was a lie. It was all just shady stuff. All
true things that happened. So that's why they ended up talking about on Watch What Happens Live with Curtis.
With Curtis,
putting his arm around Heavenly waist.
Yeah, so T brought up him putting his arm around Heavenly, but it's obvious that you made this nice thing about yourself, and then she left out. Didn't she leave out Simone?
No, she had Simone and Cecil in there.
Oh,
I forgot what it said, but she had Simone and Cecil in there, and because she was reading it out loud, you could tell it was hers. Like, okay, girl, you want us to read this so bad.
Yeah, that was.
So she made her little scene, her little splash, whatever.
Right. So then, so now we at the okay. So when did Quad get there? Did she just magically show up on time to walk down the stairs?
Yeah, because Heavenly walked in with her
I liked her little fro and her little ball gown. That was very like, Bridgerton.
It looked just like younger Queen Charlotte. So that was on point. But yeah, and then Quad and King, they held them a little bit when they got out the car, because it seemed like it was a quick transition. So maybe they made them stay in the car for a little bit until it was time to walk out, because they didn't come into the cocktail hour.
Yeah, I was like, where did they come from? I thought they were gonna be late. So yeah, Heavenly walks down the stairs, and it's very heavenly.
Very heavenly. Heavenly the person, not Heavenly.
Right.
She cussed in it.
Who put these stairs right here?
Right. Up? It's ghetto. Like, girl, come on.
Right. And I'm mad Daddy, he didn't even dress up. He wore a regular old suit. Like, sir.
They lucky he didn't come in his scrubs.
Well, yeah, that's definitely a step up. Okay, I'm gonna give it to him for that, because he definitely would have came in scrubs. But Contessa's husband, he had on that nasty wig, like
that wig about cookies out. I said, boy, that is the Temptations, like cheap wig.
That's why I'm like he could have at least wore a suit from that time period. Like, because he wore that nasty, all the men had on them nasty wigs except Damon.
And Simone had on a quinceañera dress. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? That old bright pink quinceañera dress. Girl.
I mean, but listen, I'm not surprised. Simone always misses the mark. Always. Like, if I wanted anyone to get a stylist, it would be Simone.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Because it's like, and even when she does,
I don't know why she doesn't just have them shop every year at the beginning of the season.
She does. She just has a bad one, because you could tell sometimes when like somebody probably helped her with that outfit, but it either doesn't fit right, it doesn't fit her body type, or it's just like not proportioned properly. Like,
I hope she don't have a stylist, because whoever, if she do,
somebody's taking her money.
Right. I don't want that for her, because child.
So who do you think had the best look?
I would say Heavenly.
Yeah, I liked Heavenly's. I liked the other girls too. Mimi.
Oh. Mimi, I thought it gave like a little Party City a little bit though.
No. I think Contessa's was nice, but it didn't give like
it wasn't Bridgerton
at all. Like this, her like little cloak thing. I'm like,
yeah, and the headband thing she had on.
It wasn't the right era.
Yeah, Contessa need a stylist too, because she be missing the mark too.
Absolutely,
but she dresses better than Simone, but she be missing the mark too.
Yeah, because it's like, what? Where did she go with a club dress on? I was like, oh, where are you going?
I think it was at the photo shoot or something. Like, she just wants to be like overly sexy, and it don't always calls for that. Like,
and it doesn't look good. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. And then I don't like quads. Like the purple, I don't think that the purple was a good color.
I didn't like it either. That was giving costume. And I know it's all costume, but it didn't give like, I didn't like it. And she kept her hair the same. Like,
yeah, she should have had like her hair up or something.
Did you see? Okay, let's finish the last thing, and then we're gonna talk about the little sizzle for the reunion.
Okay.
I thought Eugene's speech was very nice.
Yeah. He should have said that though. But I hate how hard Toya is. Like, your man is telling you how much you love him, and you gonna tell him to tell you tomorrow because it
in the confessional.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, dang, Toya, way to ruin the moment. And he just be taking it.
She always does that though. Like, she don't know how to let Eugene love on her. And that's probably why he don't be saying stuff regularly, because look at how you react. Why would I keep saying stuff to you, and then every time I say it, you had this negative response? Like,
right. I'm glad she didn't do that at the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, she blew it in the confessionals. So then all the ladies gather around, they're chit-chatting, they're talking, whatever. And the guys had their talk too, where basically Curtis talked to Greg, and before he left, to see if he was willing to have a conversation with the men. He was like, yeah, I'll come around to it, whatever. So the ladies try to have the same conversation with Quad. And my question for you is, do you feel like they're asking too much of her?
Yeah, I don't think it's the same situation. Like, Quad probably could have coexisted and it been nothing. But Greg is like seeking drama. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where someone is seeking to bring out the negative side of me. Like, no.
And he pressed charges on her man for not even touching him.
Right.
So if we can't have a conversation, a disagreement, he charged at him, but he didn't put his hands on you.
Right.
And if you're going to keep egging on a situation, you're not going to be able to let something go. My partner's safety or livelihood is in jeopardy because you're willing to send him to jail because your feelings got hurt or you got embarrassed.
So literally, because your feelings got hurt.
I'm not going to
let somebody disrespect me, but you disrespected him and his woman.
And I think it's crazy to even ask her in the beginning to even be in this situation with the things that she went through in her relationship with him. It's very triggering for her to even see him in the first place. Then she had to go through with them getting married and parading that around and, within the same group that she's a part of.
Yeah.
And she was cool about it for the most part. She shouldn't have showed up to that girl's bachelorette party, but she was cool about it for the most part. Mm-hmm. But now when she brings her relationship on the show, it's immediately a problem.
Yeah. So for the bachelorette party, I feel like she was just trying to be like a girl's girl. Like Phaedra had invited her. She's just trying to show that she's not bothered.
But it was wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't think she should have gone. Like that's weird anyways, but I feel like her intention was to show that she's not bothered. Like if she wants to have a civil relationship, they can.
Yeah, because she was coming off being cool with her. Like, you know, of course it was a little patronizing, like, girl, I'm so happy for you. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I agree. I don't think she came with ill intentions. I put more on Phaedra because she shouldn't have surprised her. She should have asked her, you know, she's part of the group. Do you mind if she comes? Give her the option to say yes or no.
Right. And that's the problem with Married to Medicine. Like they just expect for people to acclimate to whatever they want, but you need to give people the option. Like I don't have to do what you want just because you think that is healthy for the group. I care about my health and my mental well-being. I don't care about this group. Like this group flip and flop all the time. Like if it's affecting me mentally, I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to change my standpoint. Like,
and they're not putting themselves in her shoes. None of them. Right. Except for Heavenly. Heavenly is the only one's like, every time Quad's, nope, that's terrible. Wouldn't do it.
Right.
But Heavenly also, you know, her messy self. I saw a clip of her show, but she was like, I'm trying to make right. She was like, because I'm the one who brought Sweet Tea on the show. Mm-hmm. And so she was just like, that was wrong of me as a friend. No matter if we was on good terms or bad terms, I would never want anybody to do that to me. Yeah. And everybody said they would never want their exes on this platform. So why can't y'all understand when Quad is saying, well, it's too much? Why are y'all asking me to be around these people? I tried. Yeah. I literally tried. I was cool. Everything was cool, copacetic. I was into my man. I didn't know about what they had going on. He could handle it.
Yeah.
So what do y'all want me to do? I'm not going to keep playing this game with him. I did that in a marriage with him. I'm not going to keep doing that.
I don't have to keep doing it.
No. Like, and I feel like if we're friends at all, you should hear that and be like, okay. Like for them to keep pushing, it's just like, it's silly to me.
So the freaking trailer for the reunion. So we already know that the first episode probably gonna be trash, but it's 3 episodes. It looked like it's gonna be pretty good. And I don't like this. Is what I don't understand. Like, why is it always an issue between Simone and Quad? Like, they could be cool all season, but Simone gonna find a reason to come for Quad and talk about how Quad is this. Quad don't ever want to be a part of the group.
Better than us,
right? And it's like, girl, why you don't have that energy during the season where we can actually work to resolve it? You want to come on here for this little however long session and try to talk about stuff that we ain't even had an issue about, like.
And that's why Quad always be looking confused because she'd be like, okay, girl, where was that energy? Like we had plenty of time to talk about it. And it's like, you know, with Quad's post, she's like, only thing I can think of is she's still mad about the whole Sister Circle situation. And
but Quad already said we was like, I saw on Instagram, I don't know if she said it on the show, but she was like, we were not in a good place. Like the people who I was friends with, I included in my sister circle, like Contessa, Jackie, Heavenly. Those were the people that
they were all featured on the show. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We were not. And honestly, like nobody really, like, I know that Simone has been a doctor for a long time in the OBGYN field, but she's not like Jackie. Like Jackie is really like somebody that people go to for advice. Like she has like a lot of celebrity clients. So it just makes sense that she would be on the show.
Right. You know? For sure. And she has products, she has books, she has things to like actually promote on the show. And like you said, they were in a better place. So I think Simone just asked of too much of Quad, and maybe you think Quad thinks that she's better, and she does give an elitist attitude in certain situations, or she has in the past. But I feel like currently she been about her man.
Right.
Like,
and I think that they confuse like her confidence with like arrogance. Like, I don't have to be walking with my head down and bowing down to you just because you guys are doctors. Like, just because you guys are doctors, that's great. But I'm a great person in my own right. Like, I don't have to bow down to you just because you have a MD after your name, you know?
You hit the nail on the head with that one. I feel like that's why Simone specifically, I feel like that's why she's always had like, how dare she think she better than me and I'm the doctor?
Right.
Like that's the attitude that she gives. Like Quad has a big personality. She has a way about her with her words and stuff like that. But that's who she is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
and she's educated just like y'all. Granted, she didn't go and get her doctorate, but she went to college just like y'all. I think she has a master's degree. Like,
like, and she was working in her field before she was with Dr. G. So, he created a narrative about her, but it doesn't make that true.
Yeah.
And she spoke about that too after the fact, because he was just like, yeah, I picked her up and I built her up and I gave her the life that she has and da 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 da. And she's like, I had a life before you, but I chose to be a wife and a good wife and submit to you.
Right. And obviously he didn't do what he was saying, because if that was the case, how is she doing as good as she is without you? Like,
but best believe he'll take credit for that too, because he'll probably be like, well, you would have never been on this show and you would never be where you were if you weren't married to a doctor and da 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 da. Men like that, they always gonna take credit for everything.
Right.
But what I do want to talk about with the reunion is, did you see when Quad turned around with her ponytail?
No, what happened?
The B2Bs was in the back. I said, who did her ponytail? It was like they took.
Oh no!
It was like they took the frontal and put the ponytail, and like, when you turn around, your ponytail be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch that clip. I said,
you got to send it to me.
It wasn't
the long trailer.
It was in the clip right after the episode. She turned her head to the side. I said, whoa.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to watch.
All the B2Bs was out in the back and the ponytail was lifted, and it wasn't enough hair for the ponytail. I don't know if they used like a short wig. I think they did. I think they used a short wig. Shame on that hairstylist.
Right. And then I don't think we talked about this, but I guess what's the new doctor's name?
Mimi.
Yeah, Mimi and T is supposed to be beefing. I guess T was like that they was never really friends. Did we talk about this already?
No.
Okay, yeah, she was talking about that they was never really friends. They just used T to bring Mimi on the show. Not me calling her TT. They just they just used T to bring Mimi on the show and like introduce her, whatever. And like she didn't like the way that they was trying to go about it, because they was trying to have T go to Mimi's office like she was a patient, and she was like, I'm not about to be on here looking like I'm crazy. But like, honestly, she could have used a little anger management advice, Right. Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, it looked like they're gonna have beef. It seems like it's gonna be a pretty good reunion show. I hope
a fight breaks out in the green room.
Oh, I know. I told you this last episode that Quad and Simone gonna be going at it. That's why I'm like, I don't get where the reunion energy comes from. Like, y'all was cool all season, even after between the season, like after it filmed, like they was doing like videos on Instagram of Quad coming over to Simone's house with King and them all kicking it, like Mimi and Toya and Quad and all of them. And now y'all about to fight at the reunion. Like, where is it coming from?
So what they say, what happens is, they don't see the episodes until we see that. They watch the episodes with us. Like they'll show them certain things. Like when they do their green screens, they'll be like, I think they actually even film the green screens, some of them, while the show is being aired. And so they'll show them a little segment and be like, well, what were you feeling in this moment? Whatever. But they have to watch the episodes with us. They don't get to watch everything before the season airs.
But I feel like even on the episodes, Quad wasn't coming.
Yeah, nothing happened. That's why I'm like, I'm trying to remember if Quad said anything shady about her. Like, I don't know where that energy will be coming with Simone. Now, Simone probably said a couple shady things in her green screens or something. But
yeah, I would think Quad would have the energy, because Simone was coming for Quad all season.
So maybe Quad saw what Simone was saying and she confronted her about it, and then Simone had to puff her chest out. But that's why they
instead of being humble like she was great to do and take accountability.
Right. But that's why they say a lot of drama comes out after the fact. So that's why even with Shamea, like in her interviews and stuff, people was like preparing her, like, okay, you filmed it. That's one hurdle. The next hurdle is when it airs, because now you have the opinions of the audience, bloggers, and they're gonna add more fuel to the fire. They'll take one little spark of something and blow it all the way up.
Yeah.
So
I was talking about, Simone was like a producer. Like she cared more about the drama on the show than actually being real.
I believe it. Creating moments, trying to make it pop, whatever. Because, you know, with reality TV, they, you know, the more drama, the more successful it is. So if everybody is getting along, that doesn't make for great TV.
I mean, sometimes it does. Like sometimes when it's really like a sisterhood, it's not terrible. Like obviously sisterhoods have like little tiffs, but
right,
like these knockout dragouts, I'm trying to ruin your whole life
it's
thing.
unnecessary.
Like, old. Yeah,
it's unnecessary. But that's what people think. They think in order for it to be a good reality show, has to be drama filled. I'm like, y'all show wasn't even intended for that.
Right.
Like your show is supposed to be about marriage, love, you guys helping the community with, you know, things like that. And then you have sprinkle drama in between, because of course, anytime you got people, there's going to be disagreements, but it's supposed to be focused more on like the marriage and the medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, so before we wrap it up, I got a show suggestion. It's not a reality TV, but it was so good. I was up till 3:00 in the morning watching the whole entire season. It was that good. It's called Long Bright River on Peacock. Y'all should watch it. It's really good. And if you do watch it, tell us what you think about it in the comments.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you stayed on this long, thank you so much. Just like and subscribe this video, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Good night.